And it is me, Peyton. I'm coming at you from somewhere in Georgia. But it's time for for me to draw a line in between network marketing and Christianity, which is what I personally realized that there was a strong line in between the two, because if you're doing one correctly, you're also doing the other one the right way as well. So here I am, and there's been an upheaval of sorts, but I'm trying to do all the things that were on the calendar, and team training was one of them. So here we go. In this week's network marketing training, it was basically about going to different businesses that are small local businesses in your area and featuring them, and they do a giveaway, and their followers have to follow you and your followers have to follow them, which is a nice win-win for both parties. I love that. And after I read the paper, I said, oh my gosh, they're giving love to get love. And then I come upon this. So in this book, it's not meant to be a secret. God wants to speak to you. I read a paper and then I just open to the next chapter to see what it says. And at first, I thought there was no way, but we've done so many of these at this point. I just know that God is really trying to speak to you. And literally, this is one of the first sentences, and it says, teach others to give love outrageously. So to get love, you have to give love. So it makes sense. It makes 100% of sense to go into your local communities and find small businesses like yours and support each other. We are better together. And then here in 1 Peter 4, verse 8, it says, above all things, have fervent love for one another, for love will cover a multitude of sins. And again, I was like, in John 13, verse 34, like, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you. You also need to love one another. Give love to get love, y'all. And then, owe no one anything except for to love one another. For he who loves another has fulfilled the law. And that is Romans 13, verse 8. And I say this a lot, that Jesus is coming back soon, sooner than you think. And just in case anyone needed to be reminded, in John 14:6, he does say that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one comes to the Father except through him. So make sure you're right with Jesus. And that's written several times. John 14:6. In John 10:9, he says, I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. He will go in and find pasture. But if we fall into the pattern of self-reliance or self-promotion, we fall into a dark dungeon. And I just want to remind you that all things are better with Christ, even your businesses. And I know this sounds weird. I used to be in the hair industry, and one of the first things they say is don't talk politics or religion. And now I look back at it and I'm like, but Okay, that's what the cosmetology book says, like in chapter 1, like don't talk about religion. But in the Bible, it clearly states that we are supposed to go forth and talk about Jesus. So you may be breaking one rule to obey another, but let me tell you, the rules of heaven are way more important than the rules of earth, because man made these and God made those. So if God says go forth and talk about it as much as you can, you better believe I'm going to make that choice over some chapter 1 of my cosmetology book telling me not to. I mean, here I am on the internet telling y'all about Jesus. So I love y'all. That is our training for today. And you know how I like to leave y'all with a challenge that you can do throughout the week. But I'm going to make it easy for y'all. Find one local business. If you have a hard time with that, if you don't know, like if you're like me and you don't even know what city you're in, put farmers market near me in your GPS and it will show you, like, it'll pull them up and then you can click on them and see the details of when they are. They usually end on Labor Day and they usually start around Memorial Day. But there are some that go year round. There are some that are indoors. There's some that take breaks in the summer. So just look at the details and find one local business there, buy one product, and use it and leave a review on their website, because you have to give love to get love, and start a new relationship with somebody who lives locally in your town who is doing the same thing. All right. So that is your challenges. Just find one new local business. All right. I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all next week.